Hi, I'm Dave Daniel. I'm a corporate speaking agent. I have been for nearly 30 years. I represent Bruce Dickinson for Maiden and various other people who does speaking for me in the music industry. Before that, I was a nightclub promoter many years ago and a tour manager for a band called Soul Family Sensation, who Andrew represents. And the rest is history.
Hi, my name is Andrew Leighton-Pope. I'm an agent from London. I've been an agent for nearly 40 years. Mainly because my father was an agent, so I followed him into the industry, and I've worked with myriad artists. Recently, Michael Bublé, Bryan Adams, Billy Ocean, Van Morrison, Bonnie Tyler, Peter Green from Fleetwood Mac, many artists over the years, and booked them into Europe and America, around the world.
In regards to contracts with certainly on my side with speakers, you have a rolling contract. So I have a rolling contract with someone like Bruce, and every couple of years we just make sure everything's going fine and we carry it on. It's different to in the world of music.
See, in the live or entertainment industry, there is no contracts. So an agent is a handshake with the manager, generally 90% of the time. So let's say when a band starts, there's 4 musicians and another guy or girl, and they're not a musician, so maybe they become the manager. So maybe when they're in school or they're playing in clubs, this person is the manager. Then as the band develops, once they become bigger than their city, they generally need an agent. And then the manager's job is to find the right agent for the artist and then appoint him. So if you're a heavy metal band, maybe you want Iron Maiden's agent. Or if you're an indie band, you want Coldplay's agent. So the manager's job is then to go and secure the services of an agent. Or the other way around, the agent sees this band, says, oh my God, they're the best band since. And they approach the manager and say, I really want to represent your band. And then that's when a decision is taken.
Basically, an agent books the gigs. Manager does everything else.
Manager does the stuff. The record contract, the publishing contract, but the hotel and the bus and the flights. Whereas agents book you the gigs, book you the tours, get you onto the tour, onto the festival. So manager has a contract with the artist, which is very binding and has future, let's say you manage someone very successful, they sack you, you can still earn money going forwards. So they have very, very tight contracts, but an agent has no contracts whatsoever.
Tour managers do all the work, let me tell you. Basically, they manage everything on the tour with the band. They make sure the band get to the hotel on time, they make sure they get to the gig on time. But nowadays, a tour manager is more like an accountant. You've got to make sure that the back end of the gig, the costings that the promoter is saying it costs for the sound system, the hall, everything that comes with that, obviously comes off the top of what a band would earn at a gig. Tour manager basically looks after everything on the tour. He's the leader of the tour, if you like. He's got to be the person who says, no, you can't do that.
And again, of course, the further you go up the food chain, to Maiden, Taylor Swift world, the tour manager is a different person altogether because they're running 150 people on the road. So they're running a small country.
The challenging part for me in my job now is I do a lot of travelling. And it's really tiring. As you get older, it's really tiring.
Because it's so corporate now, there's bands that have agents that haven't played gigs. Now, in my head, why would you represent a band who's never played live? But it's the reality these days because bands are created so quickly, and again, the attention span, you have to be in a band today, you have to be on telly tomorrow, and then next week we're out. So yeah, it's still the same. It's finding the talent, nurturing the talent, trying not to get sacked, which is occupational hazard.
What's the best part of my job? It's the travelling with Bruce Dickinson around the world. Yeah. So it's the hardest part, but it's also the best part. And it comes with the territory. It is what it is.
And I think nowadays, in, let's say, whatever, the 80s and 90s, you'd have markets. You'd be big in Germany, big in France, you had pockets of business you could go to. Now, because of the internet, you have to go everywhere. And literally everywhere.
I'm Bruce's speaking agent, and I did the deal for his book as well. What is his bundle? So I was literary agent for that as well. And then when Bruce decided he wanted to do an evening with theatre tour, theatre world wasn't my world. It was Andrew's world, and we went to school together, and we've known each other more years than I care to remember. So we did that together. I don't deal with Bruce in his rock star world. I deal with Bruce as his corporate speaking world. But of course, you can't get around the fact that he is a rock star. But he gets on the tube train in London with a hat on, and no one knows who he is, and he walks down the street, no one knows who he is. You go to South America with him, that's a different thing altogether. Everyone knows who he is. He cannot leave the hotel. We have to, part of the contract with the people who are booking him to speak is they have to book the Iron Maiden security guy as well out in South America, because it's like the Pope's arrived.
It's funny with fans. So at the beginning, I manage a band called Fearless Vampire Killers, who are a gothic punk rock band. And we have a very devoted, small, but very devoted fan base. And the band's theory is just be friends with all these people. And they do it quite well via socials and so forth. And, you know, there's a thing going on. I know 10 of their fans by name. If they walked in here, I'd know who they were. But of course, what happens is when you get to the other end of the coin, so when we work with Michael Bublé, exactly the same. Bublé can't leave a hotel. And in fact, he started doing Airbnbs because he just rents a house and no one knows Michael Bublé's there. But people find out. Some people hack all this flight plans, all these things. They find out. It's always, you know, like a yin and a yang with the fans. Without the fans, you don't exist. But the fans are a pain in the arse. Sometimes, you know.
But in fairness, we've also been on the other side of the coin. 1983, we went to Rotterdam to see David Bowie, who was our hero. And we found his hotel, and we sat in the lobby and waited for him to come down. And he came down and went out the other way, apparently, so we didn't get to see him. But it seemed like the most natural thing in the world to us.
Why wouldn't he want to talk to us?
Yeah, we're 19 years old, we're massive Bowie fans. We want to meet David Bowie. It'd be the pinnacle of our lives at 19 years old. Now, a tour manager has also become the agent in a lot of cases. So people can get hold of the tour manager via email, and they don't need an agent anymore because the tour manager crosses over and does the agent bit as well.
Exactly. We used to be agents. We would keep hidden. Most agencies didn't have a website for many, many, many years until they were forced into having it, so that people could see, oh, they represent all these people. You know, I want to take on my band, or I'll make a direct offer to these people, or whatever it might be. So suddenly it was all in the public domain. I mean, thankfully, the one thing what we're talking about is the one thing you can't do on the internet, which is be in a band and be in a live show.
And the one thing COVID did is just rubber stamp that, because how much did we all want to go out with people and get together in people in a field or a gig or whatever after COVID? You know, the sales went up. Because at the end of the day, it's about being with people. We are human beings, and we like to be with other human beings.